Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to our call this evening. I'm Kathy Mellish from Denver, North Carolina, teaming up with Dr. Matt Brown from Boone, North Carolina to bring you these educational and inspirational calls. We would like to welcome everyone to the call this evening, and we are really excited to have Dr. Matt Brown talk with 100 Club NMDs Bob Burdick and Malcolm Hunt, discussing the power of events and strategies for building for our National Leadership Conference in Sacramento. But first, I'd like to share a little bit about Dr. Matt Brown. He's a doctor, a husband, a father of four. He strives to get as many fruits and vegetables in his body on a daily basis as possible. For almost 8 years now, he has been adding Juice Plus to his daily diet and has seen amazing health results, including much faster recovery as an athlete, faster healing from various injuries as a mountain biker, improved digestion, and a much stronger immune system. Dr. Matt has come to see Juice Plus as the next best thing to fruits and vegetables. Little did he know that in 2010 he would need the protection that Juice Plus offers when he faced a life-threatening event. Like never before, he sees Juice Plus as a safety net that continues to protect him from what he doesn't know he doesn't know. In addition, recent international growth within the Juice Plus company has proven to Dr. Matt that the Juice Plus virtual franchise has the potential not only to be a powerful Plan B, but to become a fast Plan A for anyone who wants to work hard and follow a very simple, tried and proven system. He sees the network marketing industry as the last bastion of free enterprise, a way to share great products, and the best opportunity for the average person to make way above average income. He has never been more excited and more determined to obtain the financial freedom, flexible schedule, and opportunities to travel that medicine could never afford him. Take it away, Dr. Matt.
All right, Kathy, thanks so much for that introduction. And it is my sincere privilege to have two very fine individuals on the call this evening who are basically achieving their dreams of time freedom, flexibility, and residual income. First of all, Mr. Bob Burdick, who's been in this industry for a number of decades now and truly has a rags to riches story that I think most of you are familiar with. Bob and Sue started their business back, I guess, Bob, what now, about 27 years ago?
27 years. June 8th this year will be 28-year anniversary, so 27 and a half years.
Okay. So I think we can agree that Bob knows this industry. He's seen this company evolve to what it is today, come through several different product launches over that time frame. And Malcolm, how long have you been with Juice Plus?
I started in 1988, in the spring of 1988.
Okay.
So 26 years coming up on. So,
and both have seen this industry and seen the potential of this industry. They certainly are seeing the potential of this company. And Bob is a many 100 club qualifier person in his business. Malcolm is coming up on 100 club, and so both seeing what it takes to get to that point where you're achieving a significant amount of success. So first, I just want to say to Bob that you've seen this. You've seen what a conference can do. You can see what events can do. It has been your statement from the beginning that building for and attending events has been the number one earning activity in your business from the beginning. You still agree with that?
Yes, sir. When I signed up, I asked my friend, I said, I got involved for the money. I said, what are the income-producing activities? He said, sharing our product, sharing our business, and number one, promoting events. He said, that's the number one income-producing activity. Now, I didn't understand it at first, but he was dead right.
What do you think it is about events that makes this statement true for you and for everybody?
I think whether you're going to a regional, a boot camp, but particularly a conference, number one, no disrespect to anybody, but I saw average people at best making too much money. It showed me that I could do it. I saw too many people from too many different backgrounds doing it, so I took away any excuses that I didn't have experience here. And also, particularly at a conference or a big regional, I saw a bigger picture, that there was even more here. Each time I went, as my business was growing, rather than get in a comfort zone, I would set new goals. So it showed me the bigger picture, and it showed me clearly that I could do it, and that it was a mission-driven people and company. I like that, too.
Okay. What happened as a result of your very first National Leadership Conference, and when was that?
That was October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 1987 in Memphis, Tennessee. In fact, the whole conference was in the Peabody Hotel.
Wow.
And it was like 800 people there. And I almost thought I was too late, believe it or not. But I had 22 people with us. So Sue and I and 20 others. Okay, it was either frontline or downline. But I started June 8th, so in like 120 days, I was able to get 22 people, 20 other folks, to come to Memphis with me. And I think they were like me. They saw a bigger picture. There's more here than we thought. This is going to happen with or without us. Why not take advantage of it? And like you said, it was the average person's best shot. The NFL never called me. Okay, the NBA didn't either. I'm not going to be a rock star. This is anybody's chance to be a financial star.
Mm-hmm. Is that the kind of verbiage you used in inviting those individuals back then, or what was it that you used to compel them to come?
Well, I said, that two of them were just guests. I said, you owe it to yourself. Well, what helped me understand events when two friends sold us the product, and then they talked about the business, we weren't interested. This is back in May of 87. And we were a customer for a couple of weeks. Then in June, when I was at work, the friend that sold us the product, Dave, got another friend, Jeff, on the phone. They three-way called my wife. And they said, and I think this is a good way to get people to events, don't put pressure on them. You don't have to buy or join, but you owe it to yourself to come look. They told Sue, my wife, that you're jeopardizing the financial future of your children if you don't come look. Again, you don't have to join, but at least give an intelligent no, know what you're saying no to. Meet some of the folks and see it from some other eyes. And Sue went to that presentation when I was at work, and when I come home, she wasn't there. And the boys said, I asked the boys, where's your mother? They said, she just called and said, you got to get cleaned up and go back to a presentation. We're going to get rich. And my 5 boys said, are we, Dad? and I wasn't sold yet. But when I went to that presentation, this 24-year-old kid, Jeff Burdick at the time, I was 41 back then, he said to me, these 3 questions changed my life. He said, Bob, he said, you can lie to me, don't lie to yourself. He said, let me ask you a question. He said, I don't want to offend you, but is what you're currently doing going to take you financially to where you want to be in reasonable time? And I think I'm like so many people, once you get out of school, whether you quit school like I did or go to college or graduate high school, you get a job, you start a family, you forget about your future because you're busy paying bills and taking care of things. Then he said, do you have he said, will it take you in reasonable time? And he said, ever. And I started thinking about that. I was 41 in a rented house. Then he said, do you got a plan B? I never really had a plan A. He said, you owe it to yourself just to look. And again, what I saw was the company's rock solid. This business is going to grow dramatically with or without me. This was something I could do, a little bit out of my comfort zone at first, but something I could learn to do. And it was my shot. And soon I treated that way for the 27 years, and we're right at $24 million in earnings now. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah. And so when I look back on, and when you look back on what Jeff Burdick had said to you and David said to you, that you were jeopardizing the future, the financial future of your children, they spoke several words of truth. Imagine what you would have done if you had not looked at this opportunity, put it that way.
Right.
Where would you be today?
I'd still be doing construction work. I'm going to be 70 in 15 months. Now, I feel like I'm physically strong enough to do all that stuff, but I wouldn't want to have to do it. And another thing I heard Jim Rohn say, a mentor of mine, I used to always tell my kids everything was too expensive. He told me nothing's too expensive. There's simply things you can't afford.
Right.
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 And money doesn't make you a better person, but it does give you more options. I just bought airline tickets to Peru for one of my sons and one of my grandsons to send on a mission trip. I send them every year.
Wow.
Because I can.
Yeah, money's not everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen, right?
Right. But it gives you more choices.
Absolutely. Malcolm, the expression that you quoted to me recently was butts in seats. And you're using that as a strategy that you're pursuing for the Sacramento National Leadership Conference. What is your goal in terms of numbers and why?
Well, thank you, Matt, and thanks for doing this call. I have been promoting Sacramento and saying to people, look, if you want to completely change your financial future, why don't you do what Bob Burdick did at his first conference? Get 22 people there, 22 butts and seats. And I mean, if you want what Bob has, you want to make the money Bob has, you got to do what Bob did, right?
Yeah. Right.
So my strategy is a series of small events building up to Sacramento. So this morning, one of the things I did was decide, look, I'm going to text. I've been putting this thing out on Facebook. I've been sending emails, but I thought I better text my leaders. So I got your email describing this call, and what I did was I just cut and pasted off that and texted it out to a bunch of my leaders just to make sure they were on this call. So that was the promotion of a small event, a conference call, right? Now, out of that process, I had a couple of people that not only wanted to be on this, but they also we do a luncheon Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I promoted the lunch with them. It's local. It's in Reno. Down at our office, we serve Tower Garden salad. So I invited to lunch. So that's tomorrow and Thursday. Then the next thing, I got back some Facebook parties that people were doing. Got invitations to their Facebook parties. So I'll begin the process of inviting to Facebook parties so that we can get the word out that way. Then this weekend, and I want everybody to know that on the Wendy Campbell TeamHope.net website, there is a regional in Sacramento this weekend. And Dr. Bill Sears is going to be speaking in the Sacramento area Thursday for lunch and in the evening, and then on Friday. And this is their 90-day countdown to the Sacramento convention. And everything is posted. You can register. You can do everything off the TeamHope.net website. So I've been promoting the crap out of that and dialing for dollars, getting people to come to the Sacramento Regional. That's all I'm going to do this week, really, aside from the lunches, is promote the Sacramento Regional and see I get as many butts and seats as I can for the regional. And basically, I'm using an 8-step plan that I'll talk about in a little bit because it ties in with Bob Burdick's story.
Yeah, and I want you to go ahead and just outline that because I think, you, like so many people, have tied into Eric Worre to so many of his tools. And so, you forwarded that to me. I think it's well worth kind of just reviewing that. And then, if you and Bob want to dialogue real quick, that's great.
Okay. Basically, Eric Worre wrote a book called GoPro. It's a fantastic book, and it's also on CDs. So I got the CDs, put them in my car, listened to them in the car, and basically what Eric Worre did was he interviewed top leaders in our industry, top network marketers. One of the network marketers he interviewed, and you can find that interview on his website, the GoPro networkmarketingpro.com. You can actually find his interview of Jeff Roberti. And what he found was all of the leaders when they started, they had a period of all-out massive action where they did massive invitations to events, which is what Bob did the first part of his career. And basically, he broke down what these leaders did into 8 steps. And so I want to ask you a question, Matt. Have you ever talked to Bob Burdick on the telephone and not had him say he was in a hurry? You know, whenever I call Bob, I don't know about you, but whenever I call Bob, oh yeah, I'm running to pick up the grandkid, or I'm going to a wrestling match, or I'm with my crew working on the farm. But Bob,
yeah, absolutely, that is the case.
He always does that, doesn't he? I'm in a hurry. I can talk to you for a little bit, but I've got a call coming up, in 15 minutes. I only got 15 minutes. I'm busy, right? Well,
right.
That is step one. Bob always does that. And this is a psychological issue. People are always more attracted to a person who's busy and has things going on. So if you start every call or in a face-to-face conversation with a feeling that you're in a hurry, creating a sense of urgency, you'll find your invitations will be shorter and there will be less questions, and people will respect you and your time much more.
Makes sense.
And the other thing Bob does, no matter what, is he does step 8, which is he gets off the phone. After he talks to you for a little while, he remembers he's in a hurry. He doesn't get sucked into a long conversation, and he cuts things off. He says, look, I've got to get going, Malcolm, and he moves on, okay? So he always does step 1 and step 8, no matter what, okay?
And talk about step 8. What's step 8?
Step 8 is get off the phone.
Okay, all right.
And by the way, the manual that I pulled off the networkmarketingpro.com website is called The Hottest Recruiting Scripts in MLM. Eric Ward gives it away for free, all the worksheets, and he actually has a worksheet. It's the Network Marketing Pro invitation worksheet. And I started a new distributor. She signed up last week, and today was the first day we started calling people. And I had her physically write out. I said, all right, what's going to be your in a hurry script? You know, because I want to make sure she knows how to invite, and she's got a lady, she's brand new in the business, hasn't even sold anything yet. She's got people that are interested, has not had anyone pull the trigger, but she's got a lady that's going to drive over to Sacramento Saturday morning. And that's an hour-and-a-half drive. It's going to be in Auburn, which is near Sacramento, on the Reno side of Sacramento. And so she's already got somebody committed. But she did it using this 8-step process.
Okay. Great. Do you and Bob want to dialogue something? Y'all have something scripted?
Well, as a matter of fact, I wanted to just ask, as Bob was telling his story, basically the step 2 is to compliment your prospect. And I figured that, Bob, there was a reason that Jeff and Dave called Sue. And they probably told her that.
Right. And they knew us before the business. They knew Sue better than me, but they knew we were both hard workers. Because people ask, who do you look for? I look for somebody with good work habits, that's dissatisfied in some area of their life, that are somewhat teachable. And another thing that helped me in the beginning was Jim Rohn. Now, he passed away a few years ago, but he's got CDs. And one of the CDs, when he talks about inviting, again, people will come to an event if there's no threat that he's going to be pressured when he or she gets there. So one of the things he does, let's say I'm talking to Malcolm, I say, Malcolm, let's say he's not into business or knows about the product. I got this event next Tuesday night. I would love you to come for 2 reasons. Since you're my friend, I'd like you to come because if I get 10 people there, 3 will buy, you can be one of the other 7. And the second reason, if I'm doing real well, 6 months, a year, 5 years from now, I don't want you to say, I never called you, I thought we were friends, you never told me, why didn't you ring me? So for 2 reasons. If I'm doing well, I don't want you to miss this. I want to tell you about it now. And the first reason was I need to make 3 sales, you could be one of the other 7. And when I first heard that, I thought it was a little corny. It flat works. Again, yes. When people invite me to charity events and all the different things I get invited to all the time, the ones that I think I'm going to be a lot of pressure on me, I don't go to. I just no-show them. So taking that pressure away will get your friends to events. And another thing is making a plan here in January for the year. All right? These are the events that I'm attending this year. The Peachtree City Boot Camp, the 30th and 31st of this month. I'll be in San Juan, Puerto Rico for a regional February 6th and 7th. I'll be in Geneva, Switzerland, February 21st and 22nd. London the 23rd. Wales the 24th and 5th. Birmingham the 26th, 7th, and 8th. Reno in March the 10th to the 15th. Of course, Sacramento the 13th to the 19th. The 20th in Seattle. May 3rd, Baltimore. September will be in Cincinnati, Ohio, the 11th and 12th. Fort Lauderdale, the 18th and 19th of September. Of course, the Nashville Conference, October 15th to 17th. The following weekend, Basel, Switzerland Conference, October 22nd to 25th. And then Bend, Oregon, November 13th and 14th. So now I'll add other events to that through the year, but having a main core and then talking to people about these events so I can start building them all year, not waiting till the last minute. Now, right now, look at it this way. We have 93 days to Sacramento. We've got 275 days to Nashville. What anybody on this call does or doesn't do in the next 275 days can affect our lives forever. What would you give up for a short time? I didn't go to some sporting events and stuff like that in the beginning to build a solid foundation to the income. Today I can go to any game I want live, whether it's the Ducks playing tonight or whatever. But, again, giving a serious focus and attention your first 12 months to 36 months to get a foundation that will last your family financially forever. What would you do for 1 to 3 years to build a foundation that would pay you forever?
Yeah. Excellent. Anything, Malcolm, any other comments about the script?
Yes. So Bob perfectly described step 3, right? So what step 3 involves is, and by the way, the compliment is very important, and basically Bob's compliment, or Jeff and Dave's compliment to Sue would be probably you're one of the hardest working couples I know, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's no-brainer. So Bob perfectly described step 3, okay? Because basically one size does not fit all. And the biggest part of this scripts book is what you're going to say to people and having a plan, okay? And so basically for step 3, what Bob is talking about is letting people know there's not going to be any pressure, but they also had a plan with Sue Burdick. When she started waffling, they had a plan to say, look, by not looking at this, you're jeopardizing your children's future. Right? And that got Sue. That grabbed her heart. I mean, really what they were describing was, this is child abuse if you don't come look at this, okay? Right? That was step 3 for these guys. Now, step 4 happened when Jeff Burdick asked Bob a question, and step 4 is a question. All right? Now, normally it is, if I send you this CD or if I send you my website, would you look at it? It's very simple. But since this wasn't Bob's first rodeo when it came to something like this, basically what Jeff asked was, Bob, is what you're doing going to take you where you want to go financially in reasonable time? Okay? It's a question. And that's all step 4 is to get somebody thinking. And basically, Bob thought, okay, so what do I have to lose taking a little bit of time to look at this thing, right? Because what I'm doing is not taking me where I want to go. Mm-hmm. That's what step 4 is. Okay? Step 5 and 6 are pretty much self-explanatory. Step 5 is get a time commitment. Obviously, they did that with Sue Burdick. You know, the meeting's going to be in Fort Lauderdale at this place at this time. Getting a time commitment. And then I know that they confirmed that time commitment. They said, they probably said to Sue, okay, so we're going to meet at 6:30 at this place, or whenever it was. They probably had a couple of meetings going. I think Sue went first, then Bob came later.
Yeah. She
and
went
they probably
yeah.
Exactly. So they confirmed, Sue, we're going to be in Fort Lauderdale, this address at 1:00. Can we count on you? Are you going to be there? They confirmed it. And since she is a person of her word, once she gives her word, she's not going to back out. Okay, and then the last step 7 is probably more important now than it was back then. Back then, all they had were telephones, right? Well, now you have to ask somebody, what's the best way for us to communicate? When can I call you next? And just confirm, because we didn't have cell phones then, but obviously if Sue had a cell phone back then, they would have said, okay, I've got your home number. What's your cell phone number? Just in case you get lost, let me give you my cell phone number so we can communicate while you're on the road. That wasn't a possibility back then, but obviously you have to confirm the communication. That's step 7. And then step 8 is get off the phone. And Bob always gets off the phone. So you guys have it all.
Yep. Thank you, Malcolm. Bob, just quickly here, you have jokingly said to Malcolm, and I think I've heard you say this before, that you want to be a part of opening up California, kind of like being a master distributor in Europe or some of these other countries that open up for Juice Plus. Why do you say that about California?
You have the conference coming up in 90-some days. If you start taking advantage of the small events right now and build towards this, in the next year or two, you could have your share of the West Coast. There's plenty there for everybody. But if you start now, most people wait till the day before the meeting to try to invite people. It's hard to get people there then, especially on the West Coast and the East Coast. But start now. I started each conference building towards the next conference to build me a new team in that vicinity. Okay? And now, it's easier to get California people to a California conference than it is New York people or Florida or Carolina or Georgia and things like that. So by asking all your friends, who do you know in California, Sacramento particularly, San Francisco and all that way, who do you know out there now? And then getting those to these little events like Malcolm's talking about this next weekend or whatever, and then building from those little events towards this conference, and then when you go out there, you can meet with them. But taking advantage of it now. It's just like I'm going to Geneva next month, building for the Basel conference in October in Switzerland.
Okay.
So
it's a matter of capitalizing on the Super Bowl event in that region.
Right. You know the Super Bowl is going to be in Miami this year. Or let's say next January, the Super Bowl is going to be in Miami. Let's start asking all your friends, who do you know in South Florida now? And you'll be surprised. I called 40-some of my NMDs Saturday. I've got about another 70 to call. And I was shocked how many new people in Puerto Rico. Sue and I are doing a regional with Tanya Oxley in Puerto Rico the 6th and 7th. Mm-hmm. And I said, where better to go in February? Okay.
Absolutely.
In Puerto Rico. Okay. But again, right now, building in California now, building towards that conference, and then you'll have a team there for life.
Right.
And
let me ask you a quick question.
I'd also ask you about Nashville.
In the fall.
In the fall, yeah.
Let me ask you this.
I'd start building it now.
What about those 22 people that went to that first conference with you? How many are still with you now, and what percentage of your income now are they contributing?
Oh, okay. I would say 70% of my income, those 20 people were in 8 different lines. Okay? They all were in front line to me. Those 8 lines are still here today.
Good.
Now, believe it or not, the 8 that were front line to me all left the business for silly reasons through the years. But from that, Carol and Noah rolled up front line to me, 100 Club. Elizabeth Small, 100 Club, rolled up front line to me. Most of my 39 Club and 50 and 100 Club, a lot of them rolled up from those 8 people that left the business. Okay? Wow. Unbelievable. But the amount of income I've earned from that is staggering. Get this here. My income went to $50,000 a month by my 8th month because of taking those people to that conference.
Holy smokes. That's pretty amazing.
Okay, and when we come home, here's another thing. Have a plan ahead of time. So, like, when the conferences are coming up, all your team will never go to the conference. If you get your entire team to the conference, tell me how you did it. All right? So we always have a wrap-up for the following weekend planned before we go to conference.
Yeah.
So whether I was up in Boone where you live or in Reno where Malcolm lives, I would have a plan for a wrap-up the following weekend. Okay?
Sure.
So most people don't have they want something, but they don't have a plan how to get it. They want to look like the guy or the girl in the poster, but they haven't joined the gym yet.
Right.
Right? And if they have, they haven't gone. So again, here, I just showed you, I bought thousands of dollars worth of airline tickets. I gave you 15 different places we're going to already committed to for 2015. But having that plan now, so I can blow those things up between now and each of those events. Some are 30 days from now, some are 60, some are 90, some are 5 and 6 months from now. But having a plan to build all 15 of those events, and also people don't understand. I don't care if you've been in the business as long as me or Malcolm or or newer. Adding 2 or 3 effective working lines each year over time makes a huge difference to your income. Okay, and leading by example attracts more people than anything else. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you sharing the product? Are you sharing the business? Are you bringing guests to meetings?
Right.
You can't teach what you don't know. You can't know what you don't do. You got to do to know and know to teach. People will follow a leader, not a boss.
Yeah. Well, and as well as I do, this business has gotten so much simpler than when it first started, and our tools are so amazing that there's really there's very little excuse with what we have at our disposal now. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, with computers, with social media, with cell phones. I mean, Roberti and I used to sit at a hotel phone booth with quarters, dialing for dollars. Dropping quarters in, making phone calls back in the phone booth era. It seems like it was 100 years ago in some fashion. My oldest, I have 15 grandkids. I have 3 great grandkids and a 4th one on the way. My 24-year-old, my oldest grandson, said to me one day, he said, "These younger ones don't realize I didn't get a cell phone till I was 14. I said, "Son, when I was 14, most people didn't have a phone in their house, and if it was a party line back in the 50s.
Oh man, you got great stories, that's for sure. Let me just ask you, Malcolm, real quick. Any other tools that you recommend? You've mentioned Eric Ward. You've given us some great information. Any other tools that you can suggest to wrap the call up?
Well, I want to mention Bob's going to be speaking in Reno, where he's coming out March 10th. We're going to do a day of skiing beforehand, and then Thursday night we're doing a Prevention Plus, and that'll be the Prevention Plus will be March 12th, and then the 13th we're going to train on Friday and Saturday the 14th. But we've got skiing mixed in with that, and then the last day is Saturday the 15th. So it'll be lots of fun, and it's going to be 30 days from the Sacramento Conference. So basically you've got two major events before the Sacramento Conference. The regional this weekend in Auburn, and then in Reno we're going to have this mid-March skiing event and training event. And our focus is going to be butts and seats for the training event to get people a jump start, because they'll have 30 days after the event that we're doing in March to get people to Sacramento. So no excuse for not having guests in Sacramento. It's going to be phenomenal.
Sounds great. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on the call this evening. And this is, as always, invaluable information. Bob, you're just a wealth of wisdom. Hadn't been in the industry this long and been this successful. I just so appreciate you being willing to do this yet one more time. Thank you so much, Malcolm.
Thank you all for y'all's effort too.
Oh gosh, you're welcome. Yeah.
And do you want to give out the rebroadcast number, Matt?
Oh,
yeah, Kathy, go ahead.
Yeah,
and get
I'll do that.
out.
Wow, what a powerful call. It's definitely one we're going to want to re-listen to and share. The playback number is 559-546-1889, and the participant code is 317415#. Thanks so much, everybody.
Okay, one other thing. Tomorrow
Yes,
at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, I'm doing a call. It's open to anybody who wants to be on it, with one of my NMDs, 39 club members, Gordon Wilkie from the UK. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The dial-in number, 954-715-6343, no PIN code. He's going to go over the European compensation plans in euros, and also our event schedule in the UK next month while we're there. So if you have contacts in the UK or you want to understand the European marketing plan, huge bonuses over there. He'll have that tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I'll forward this to everybody on the rebroadcast.
All right, thank
Kathy,
you.
if you can get me that rebroadcast right away, I'll send this out for everybody to get the call information.
Okay, I sure will. What about the worksheets, too? Would they...
Yeah, I'll pass that on.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you all again. It's been great.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye-bye.
Sure has. Thanks.
Good night.